I terrorized Tal Rasha Tombs for 24 hours. Did I find anything good? Yes, I found absolutely crazy stuff in these runs. Terrorize Tal Rasha Tombs is by far the best farming spot in the entire game. That was all done online on ladder, and this is the gear that I was using. An Infinity, Griffin with a light colossal jewel, an amulet giving 2 skills, 10 FCR and some resists, Viper Magi with a light facet, Prank gloves, a Stone of Jordan, Arachnid Mesh, another Stone of Jordan, a 47 Magic Find War Traveler with a CTA in my weapon swap with a lidless wall. I was also using a 31 Magic Find Guide with a crazy renewed Light Sunder, an 1820 Annihilus, a 1712 Torch, and a bunch of small charms for additional Magic Find and resists. That brings me to 230 Magic Find. My build is generic Nova Energy Shield Sorceress, and my mercenary is using an Insight, a Fortitude, and a Cure Helm. With that being said, let's get into it. In the very first run, Duriel at the end of the run dropped a very rare unique shield. Medusa's Gaze. This is the only shield in the game with the slow target stat. Then on run 3, I found something amazing. The first herald of the run in the canyon dropped a unique Grand Charm, and it's a 78 Light Sunder. Let's roll it. So we need a perfect topaz with a Foul Rune and a South Shard, and boom! Unfortunately, this is an absolutely terrible Sunder. Then in the same run, a Steel Scarab dropped a very nice unique belt for druids. Raven lore. Ravens are a lot stronger than most people think, and I would be very curious to try a Raven build with this item. Then on run 4, I found 2 things at the same time, a unique spear and a Grand Charm. The unique weapon is Aryok's Needle, which can be very good for Echoing Strike Warlocks, and the Grand Charm gives 1 to shapeshifting skills for druids. On run 5, a unique Steel Scarab dropped one of the best helm in the game for Act 2 mercenaries, Andy's Visage, and it rolled very good with perfect enhanced defense, 9 lifesteal and 29 to strength. That's a very nice find. Then on run 6, a champion Unraveler dropped some very good unique wing knives. Warstrike. This is one of the best weapons in the game for a throw barbarian. On the next run 7, a unique Unraveler dropped something amazing, a very rare set armor. Tal Rasha Guardianship. This is a very good budget armor for Sorceress. 2 runs later on run 9, a tier 5 Herald dropped something very cool. A unique Scourge. Is it finally going to be a Stormlash? Unfortunately no, only Horizon's Tornado. On the next run 10, a unique Unraveler dropped the item with the highest amount of all resist in the entire game. Wizard Spike. If you are struggling with resist in hell, this is one of the most useful items to find, especially for casters. Then on run 12, a unique Hellcat in the canyon dropped a very good magic Grand Charm, giving 1 to traps for assassins with 5 to dexterity. 2 runs later on run 14, a Gorebilly dropped an amazing armor, a Mage Plate with 3 open sockets and 15 enhanced defense. This is the best base in the game for an Enigma. Then a few minutes later in the same run, a unique apparition dropped another very good armor, a unique Serpent Skin armor, Viper Magi. This is one of the most sought after item early in the season, but it rolled with only 27 all resist out of 35. On the next run 15, a Burning Dead monster dropped a magic Grand Charm, giving 1 to Javelin skills for Amazons. That's a very nice find. 2 runs later on run 17, I found another magic Grand Charm, and this one gives 21 to life with the useless curses for Necromancers. My first life skiller of these runs is unfortunately the worst possible option I could find. On run 19, a tier 3 Herald dropped a unique Grand Charm, and I was not able to take it, so I thought it was a guide, but in reality I just didn't have enough space. And it is 73 Fire Sunder. Let's roll it. So I need a perfect ruby with a Yo rune and a deep shard. Boom! It's a little bit better than the first renewed Sunder we got, but it's still not very good. On run 21, a unique Unraveler dropped some weapons for assassins, some unique Feral Claws, Fire Lizard Talons, and it rolled very good with 3 to Martial Arts, 268 enhanced damage, and 67 fire resist. 2 runs later on run 23, a tier 5 Herald dropped a very rare unique champion axe, Mr. Schmidt's Reaver. This can be a very good weapon for shapeshifting druids. Then on run 24, a unique apparition dropped one of the best helm in the game for physical characters, Guillaume's Face, La Face Attigui, and 2 minutes later in the same run, something took me by surprise. What the hell is D2R doing in my game? I didn't even see the message announcing he was walking, so I killed him without much issue, and the Annihilus rolled 16-16-9. That's not too bad, but mine is much better. By the way, only about 8% of my viewers are subscribed to my channel, and it would be amazing to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of this season. So if you like my videos, please click on the subscribe button. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for your support. Then 1 minute later in the same run, a weapon rack dropped something we found before. Some unique knives, Warstrike, and with very high enhanced damage. That's a very nice find. Then on run 26, a tier 4 Herald dropped the helm with the highest amount of all resist in the game. Kyra's Guardian, but it rolled with only 58 all resist out of 70. Later in the same run, a tier 5 Herald dropped a set Grand Matron bow for Amazons. Mavina's Caster. This is not best in slot at all, but always nice to find. 3 runs later on run 29, a Burning Dead monster dropped my first rune of these runs. A Vex rune. Yes! That's a very nice find. On the next run 30, a normal Burning Dead monster dropped something again. A unique weapon. Blade of Alibaba. This is one of the items with the highest amount of magic find in the entire game. Then in the same run, a tier 4 Herald dropped something amazing. A unique Balrog skin. Arcane's Valor. It rolled pretty bad with only 1 to skills, but it doesn't matter, it's still a very nice find. On the next run, 31, a tier 5 Herald dropped a unique Phase Blade. Is it going to be Azur's Wrath? Unfortunately no, only Lightsaber. Then on run 32, a tier 2 Herald dropped another unique Grand Charm. What is this one going to be? 79 Cold Sunder. And of course, let's roll it. So I need a Perfect Zephyr, a Lum Rune, and an Eastern Shard. And boom! And unfortunately, this is an absolutely terrible Sunder. In the same run, a unique Ghoul Lord dropped a very good low-level bow for Amazons. Kuko Shakaku. This can drop in normal difficulty, so if you find this around level 33, you are overpowered. On the next run, 33, a unique apparition dropped another rune. A Pool Rune. This is not as high as a Vex, but I'm still happy to find it. 10 minutes later in the same run, a tier 5 Herald dropped an armor that I still have not found this season. A unique Wire Fleece. Gladiator's Bane. This can be a very good budget option for Act 2 mercenaries, but unfortunately, the level required is 85 and at that point you probably already have something better. On run 34, another tier 5 Herald dropped something else, a new item for Warlocks, a set Demon Head. Horizon's Helm, and it rolled almost perfect with 22 strength and 9 damage reduction. 5 minutes later in the same run, a Gold Lord minion dropped the best armor in the game from Magic Find. Scolders, that can get up to 148 magic find. Then on run 35, a unique monster dropped the item that has the highest potential enhanced damage in the entire game. Rune Master, with 5 Ohm runes, this can get up to 520 enhanced damage. 2 minutes later in the same run, an apparition monster dropped a very nice small charm, giving 13 to life and 10 poison resist. It could have rolled a little bit higher, but it's still a very nice find. Then still in the same run, a tier 5 Herald dropped an amazing unique Spiderweb Sash. Arachnid Mesh. This is by far the best belt in the game for casters. On the next run, 36, an Unraveler dropped a unique armor that we found not too long ago. Gladiator's Bane, again, and this time it rolled with perfect damage reduction of 20 and 20. 5 minutes later in the same run, a Sparkling Chest dropped 2 unique items at the same time, which is very uncommon. The Plated Belt is useless, but the Death Mask is Hellwarden's Will, but unfortunately it rolled very low on everything. Then still in the same run, a unique Steel Scarab dropped a unique Elder Staff. This is Undal's Wisdom, and it rolled very good. This is the only item other than Annihilus that gives bonus to XP. Then 30 seconds later, a normal Preserved Dead monster dropped some set weapons for assassins. Natalia's Mark. This is the hardest to find piece of the Natalia set. On the next run, 37, a normal Preserved Dead monster dropped something else, a set Kraken Shell. Mavina's Armor. Not very rare, but still nice to find. Then on run 39, Duriel dropped one of the best helm in the game for Act 2 mercenaries. Andy's Visage, again, and it also rolled very good with 10 lifesteal, 29 to strength, but very low enhanced defense. Then on run 40, a Burning Dead monster dropped some unique assassin's weapons that we found before. Fire Lizard's Talons, and this time they're F, but unfortunately they rolled absolutely terrible. 2 minutes later in the same run, I found 2 things at once. A Burning Dead monster dropped a Pool Rune, and right after, an Unraveler dropped some unique Javelins. Thunderstroke. This is a very good option for Javazons. Then still in the same run, a tier 4 Herald dropped a unique Battle Belt for Sorceress. Snowclash. This can be a very powerful choice for the Blizzard spec. On run 41, a unique Gold Lord dropped an armor with very high damage reduction. A unique Kraken Shell. Leviathan. This is one of the items with the highest physical damage reduction in the game. 10 minutes later in the same run, a unique Unraveler dropped a unique belt that we found before. Arachnid Mesh for the second time, and this time it rolled with much higher enhanced defense. That's an amazing find. Then on run 44, a unique apparition dropped a unique helm that I still needed for the Chronicle. Giant Skull, and it rolled with 35 to strength, but unfortunately only 1 open socket. On the next run, 45, a Steel Scarab monster dropped a very good crossbow for Amazons. Hellrack. This is one of the weapons with the highest elemental damage in the game. On run 46, a tier 5 herald dropped a very good offensive shield for paladins. Alma Negra, and it rolled very good with 2 skills and very high enhanced damage and bonus to attack rating. On the next run 47, a unique crusher in the canyon dropped another unique offensive shield. Tiamat's Rebuke, but it rolled with only 27 all resist out of 35. 10 minutes later in the same run, a unique Preserve Dead dropped a very strong unique Thunder Mole. Earthshifter. This seems like a very strong option for shapeshifting druids. 5 minutes later in the same run, a champion Gold Lord dropped a very good weapon for Act 2 mercenaries, a unique Thresher. The Reaper stole, but it rolled very low with only 13 lifesteal and 195 enhanced damage. On run 48, I found 2 items at the same time, a unique rune staff and a set corona. The unique staff is Skull Collector, which seems very cool but I don't think it has any use case, and the helm is Griswold's Valor, which is nothing crazy but still nice to find. A few minutes later in the same run, I found some very good set heavy bracers. Crank Gloves. This is one of the best gloves in the game for casters. And in the same run, the sparkling chest at the end dropped a unique ring. What is it going to be? Carian Wind, and it rolled with 9 lifesteal. Then on run 49, a tier 4 herald dropped something very nice, a unique Grand Charm. What is it going to roll? 82 Light Sunder. Yes! Let's roll it. So we need a perfect topaz, a foul rune, and a south shard. Let's go. And it got minus 10 enemy light resist, which is very good, but unfortunately everything else is terrible. Then 10 minutes later in the same run, a tier 5 herald dropped a nice rune for me. A Vex rune. Yes! For the second time. At that point I would have preferred to find a rune higher than Vex, but I won't complain. 2 minutes later in the same run I found a very nice low level Grailer item. A unique club. Fell Oak. This is obviously not a very strong weapon, but it's one of the hardest low-level unique items to find. On run 51, a tier 3 herald dropped another very hard to find unique weapon, a unique Fang Knife. Flesh Ripper. With the very fast attack speed, Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike, I would be very curious to try 2 of these on a Barbarian. 2 runs later on run 53, a unique Steel Scarab in the canyon dropped a unique Scepter for Paladins. The Redeemer. It's quite rare, but I'm not sure if it has any use case. Then a few minutes later in the same run, a unique Crusher in the canyon dropped a unique shield. Black Oak Shield. With this amount of cold absorb, you become pretty much immune to cold damage. On run 54, a unique Preserve Dead dropped a new item for Warlocks. A unique book. Ars al Diabolos, and it rolled with 5 to Apocalypse, which is very good, but unfortunately only 16 to fire damage out of 25. Then on my very next pull in the same run, a unique Gorebelly dropped my favorite armor in the game to identify. Ormus Robes, and it rolled with the Fireball skill, which is amazing, but unfortunately only 10-10-12 on the damage. 3 runs later on run 57, a unique Steel Scarab dropped the best gloves in the game from Magic Find. Chances, and it rolled with 38 Magic Find, which is very good. Then on run 59, a tier 5 herald dropped another unique Grand Charm. What is this one going to be? 80 Poison Sunder. Let's roll. So we need a perfect emerald with a cool rune and a western shard. Let's go. And again, unfortunately, it's not a very good roll. Then on run 60, a tier 5 herald dropped a new item for Warlocks, a Set Russet Armor. Horizon's Dominion, but it rolled very low on every stats. On run 61, a tier 5 herald dropped something else, some unique flying axes. Gimmer Shred. This is one of the best weapons in the game for a throw barbarian, and it's the item with the highest amount of elemental damage in the entire game. 3 runs later on run 64, I found the best boots in the game from Magic Find, some unique battle boots. War Traveler, and it rolled with 39 Magic Find. Not perfect, but still very nice to find. On the next run, 65, I found an absolutely amazing Grand Charm in the canyon, giving 21 to life and 14 all resist. It could have rolled higher on both stats, but finding an all resist charm with life on top of it is always amazing. Then 30 minutes later in the same run, a unique Unraveler dropped a set book for Warlocks. Horizon Secrets, but it rolled very low with only 21 to vitality and 34 to life. 2 runs later on run 67, a Burning Dead monster dropped a unique amulet. Which one is it going to be? Seraph's Hymn, and it rolled pretty good with 2 to skills and very acceptable bonus to damage and attack rating. 10 minutes later in the same run, a tier 4 herald dropped this. A unique Sacred Armor. That's absolutely unbelievable. I found a unique Sacred Armor in my last video, and it was Tyrael's Might. Is this one going to be Tyrael's Might again? No, unfortunately, only Templar's Might. From a tier 4 Herald, a unique sacred armor will be Templar's Might about 9 times out of 10. And then on run 69, a unique Unraveler dropped a set diadem for Amazons. Mavina's True Sight. This is the hardest to find piece of the Mavina's set. And that's it, I found crazy stuff in these runs. Templar's Might, Arcane's Valor, 2 Arachnid Mesh, 5 Sunders, and a lot of Grailer items. Terrorize Tal Rasha Tombs is by far the best farming spot in the entire game. I have a lot more Diablo 2 videos coming, so if you like my videos, please click on the subscribe button to not miss any future uploads. Massive thanks to the channel members for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks to all of you for watching this video until the end, and as always, happy grinding.